Hey kiddos, this week our goal is converting between fractions, decimals, and percents because we are going to be going into the land of percentages, talking about how it affects us with taxes, discounts, and a lot of real life situations that are going to be things that you will be able to use and you will use throughout your life. So very important units, especially when it comes to keeping our money in our pocket and shopping wisely. So let's dive in. Our first two pages are just getting us back on track between fractions and decimals, decimals and fractions. A few reminders up top that if our denominator is a 10, 100, or 1,000, we're using our place value knowledge. That is our goal. And if it is not, then we need to divide the numerator by the denominator. Remember, we could think of this as 2 divided by 3. Okay, I'm going to go through and plop in the answers, but if you have any questions on specific ones that you would like to see all the way through, go ahead and let me know. All right. So first one, the denominator is a 3. We'd have to divide it. So we would do 2 divided by 3. Our answer would be 667 thousandths. 75 hundredths, we can think 75 cents. You have 3/4 of a dollar. You could also put this as 75 over 100 and simplify it down to 3/4. When in doubt, simplify. 417 thousandths. This one is actually in simplest form as 417 thousandths. 3/5, couple of options here. I can multiply both of these by 2 to get 6 over 10 and write my 6 in my tenths place. 3/8, no easy way out. I have to do 3 divided by 8. When I do that, I get 375 thousandths. And we're good. My brain skipped a beat there for a second. And then you're going to notice between these two, hopefully you noticed. If not, you would do 375 over 1,000 simplified down to 3/8. All right, next page, 7/12. There's no easy way to do this. We have to do 7 divided by 12. We have 583 thousandths. Repeating decimal, this might be one that you know that this is 1/3. If not, you might have done 333 over 1,000. 25, think 25 cents. Think I have 1/4 of a dollar. 3/8. This is one that needs to be in your head. This is a benchmark fraction. That's why it's going to pop up a lot. Eighths, sevenths, eighths, thirds, fourths, and fifths should start to be common knowledge. 7/8, we have to divide out. 7 over 8, we get 875 thousandths. And this one, again, this is in the land of thirds. This should start to be familiar. 2/3. Okay. At this point, we're going to add in our percentages. Remember that percentage means out of 100. Out of 100. Keep that in mind when you're trying to think of how to convert. So for the first one, we're going to a fraction. You probably wrote 515 over 1,000. If you simplified down, 103 over 200 is simplest form. This one, we're converting it to a decimal. If we are going from a decimal to a percent, you are going to think of what it means about by 100. So we're going to divide it and we would get 1.47. If I was trying to go from a decimal to a percent, I would multiply by 100. So think backwards, 1 and 47 hundredths. Converting it to a percent, multiply by 100, I get 88%. For this one, I could think 49%, 49 hundredths, 49 over 100. Converting this one to a decimal, there's no easy way. We have to divide. We get 325 thousandths. And for this one, we're converting it to a percentage. First thing that we need to do for that would be to realize that we have over 1. So this is going to be over 100%. And we have 6 over 20. If we made that into a decimal, you could think 6 times 5, 20 times 5. We get 1 and 30 over 100. This is going to convert into 130%. If you have any questions about converting percentages, bring them to class. But you guys have been doing pretty well with these. All right, next page, convert it to a fraction. We have a whole number. We're making it a fraction. We have some options. We could say 127 over 100, or you could say 1 and 27 hundredths. We have some options there. Converting this one to a decimal, divide by 100. 867 thousandths. Convert to a percent, times by 100, 44.2%. Convert to a fraction. This would be 169 over 1,000. If you have any questions on that, bring that to class. For this one, we can times by 5, when we get 2/10 or 20 hundredths. Both of those would be correct. And then 5 over 16, no easy way to do this. We have to divide. We get 31 and 25%. So once we get our decimal, we're going to multiply that by 100 to get our percentage. Any questions on that? Please bring that to class. This is our last page. Converting this to a fraction. This one was not easy. Okay. If you did it as a fraction, you got 912 over 1,000. You could simplify to 114 over 125. If you didn't simplify this, I get that. That was not a pretty one. Converting it to a decimal, divide by 100. 642 thousandths. Convert to a percent, times by 100. 184%. Anytime we see a whole number before the decimal, just know that our percent is going to be over 100. And that is okay. Over 100 just means that we're really marking up a price. And we're going to talk about that in the coming weeks when we are exploring percentages a little bit more. 132% as a fraction would be 132 over 100, which simplified would be 1 and 8 over 25. Convert to a decimal, we have at least a whole and 2/10, because if we pulled this out, it would look like this. Last one, convert to a percent. We know that because this is bigger down the bottom, we have at least 1, right? So this would be 104%. Any questions, please bring them with you to class. Otherwise, have a great weekend, Math Ladies.